Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in the heart of a vast and enchanting land, surrounded by a dense, mysterious jungle that seemed to whisper secrets to those who dared to listen, there lived a curious and brave little girl named Maya. She was known throughout the village for her adventurous spirit and her love for exploring the unknown. Maya loved fishing by the river, which flowed through the jungle like a silver ribbon. The river was her sanctuary, a place where she felt at peace and connected to nature. But little did she know, today's fishing trip would lead her on an adventure she'd never forget. She packed her fishing gear with excitement, her heart racing with anticipation. Maya walked through the familiar path, her footsteps light and her spirit high. The path was lined with tall trees and vibrant flowers, each step bringing her closer to her favorite fishing spot. The river sparkled under the morning sun, its waters glistening like 1,000 diamonds. She couldn't wait to catch the biggest fish, imagining the pride on her family's faces. But as she cast her line into the water, something strange happened. The water began to ripple in an unusual way, and a sense of unease washed over her. She had fished in this river countless times, but she had never seen anything like this before. Maya's curiosity was piqued. She leaned closer to the water, trying to see what was causing the disturbance. Her heart pounded in her chest as she wondered if she had discovered something extraordinary. Suddenly, a shadowy figure appeared beneath the surface. It moved gracefully, almost as if it were dancing. Maya's eyes widened in amazement. What could it be? A giant fish? A mythical creature? She had to find out. With determination in her eyes, Maya tightened her grip on her fishing rod. She was ready to face whatever lay beneath the water. This was no ordinary fishing trip. It was the beginning of an adventure that would change her life forever. She cast her line again, this time with more precision and focus. The air was thick with anticipation and the jungle seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. As the minutes passed, Maya's excitement grew. She knew that whatever was in the water was something special, something that would make this day unforgettable. Little did she know, her life was about to take a magical turn. Instead of a fish, Maya pulled out a peculiar stone that shimmered in the sunlight. Curious as ever, Maya decided to keep it, hoping to show it to her parents later. But as she turned to head home, she realized something terrifying. She was lost. The familiar path had disappeared, replaced by thick vines and an overgrown jungle path that seemed to stretch endlessly. The once clear trail was now a maze of entangled vines and dense underbrush, making it nearly impossible to navigate. Towering trees loomed overhead, their branches intertwining to form a dense canopy that blocked out the sunlight. The jungle seemed to change around her, morphing into an unfamiliar and mysterious landscape with every step she took. No matter which way she turned, she couldn't find her way out. The once familiar surroundings now felt like a labyrinth designed to trap her. Panic began to set in as she realized how truly lost she was. Maya walked deeper into the jungle, hoping to find a way back. Each step was filled with uncertainty, but she pressed on, driven by the hope of finding a recognizable landmark or a sign of the path she had lost. But the deeper she went, the stranger things became. The jungle seemed to come alive with eerie sounds and strange rustlings. She heard whispering voices that seemed to echo from the shadows, making her heart race. Shadows danced around her, flickering in the dim light and creating an atmosphere of unease. Every rustle of leaves and snap of a twig made her jump, but there was no one there. The jungle felt deserted, yet alive with unseen presences. The empty paths and solitary clearings only added to the sense of isolation and fear that gripped her. Despite the fear that threatened to overwhelm her, Maya knew she had to keep moving. She took a deep breath and steeled herself. "I must be brave," she whispered to herself, her voice trembling but resolute. "I'll find my way home." With renewed determination, she continued her journey, each step a testament to her courage and will to survive. Just as Maya was about to lose hope, she felt the weight of the dense jungle pressing in on her. The trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the shadows danced with an eerie grace. She had been wandering for hours, her small feet tired and her heart heavy with worry. The sun was beginning to set, casting long, ominous shadows on the forest floor. The chirping of birds was replaced by the hoots of owls, and the rustling leaves seemed to echo her growing fear. Just when she thought she couldn't take another step, she saw a small cottage hidden among the trees. It was almost camouflaged by the thick foliage, its wooden structure blending seamlessly with the surroundings. The cottage looked ancient, as if it had been there for centuries, watching over the forest. The windows were small and covered in grime, and the door was slightly ajar, creaking with the gentle breeze. It looked old and mysterious, but there was smoke coming from the chimney, and that gave her a bit of hope. The sight of the smoke was like a beacon in the darkness, a sign that someone was inside, someone who might be able to help her. The smoke curled lazily into the sky, mingling with the evening mist, and the smell of burning wood reached her nostrils, bringing a sense of warmth and comfort. Maya, relieved. Maybe someone here can help me. Her voice was barely a whisper, but it carried her hope and desperation. She took a deep breath, gathering her courage, and approached the cottage. Each step felt like a journey, her heart pounding in her chest. She reached the door and hesitated for a moment before gently pushing it open. Old woman, kindly. "Well, hello there, little one. What brings you to these parts of the jungle?" The voice was warm and welcoming, and Maya felt a wave of relief wash over her. The old woman who stood before her had a kind face with wrinkles that told stories of a lifetime spent in the forest. Her eyes sparkled with a gentle wisdom, and her smile was like a ray of sunshine breaking through the clouds. Maya, hesitant. "I'm lost. I was fishing by the river and now I can't find my way home. Can you help me, please?" Her voice trembled as she spoke and tears welled up in her eyes. She had never felt so alone and scared in her life. The old woman's expression softened and she reached out to gently pat Maya's shoulder. The old woman invited Maya inside and offered her some warm tea. The interior of the cottage was cozy and inviting, with a fire crackling in the hearth and the smell of herbs hanging in the air. The walls were lined with shelves filled with jars of dried plants, old books, and various trinkets. Maya felt a sense of calm wash over her as she sipped the tea, the warmth spreading through her body. But as they talked, Maya noticed something odd. On a shelf in the corner of the room were several shiny stones, just like the one she found in the river. They glimmered in the dim light, their surfaces smooth and polished. Each stone seemed to have a life of its own, glowing with an inner light that was both mesmerizing and mysterious. Maya, curious. "Those stones, they look just like the one I found. What are they?" Her curiosity got the better of her and she couldn't help but ask. She pointed to the stones, her eyes wide with wonder. The old woman followed her gaze and smiled, a knowing look in her eyes. Old woman, mysteriously. "Ah, those stones are special, my dear. They belong to the jungle, and whoever finds one is chosen for a special task." Her voice took on a mysterious tone and Maya felt a shiver run down her spine. The old woman picked up one of the stones and held it out to Maya. It felt warm in her hand and she could feel a strange energy emanating from it. The old woman's eyes twinkled as she continued. "These stones are not just ordinary rocks. They are imbued with the magic of the forest, and they have the power to guide and protect those who are pure of heart. You, my dear, have been chosen by the jungle for a very important mission." Maya, determined. What kind of mission? Her fear was replaced by a sense of purpose and she felt a newfound strength within her. The old woman's words had ignited a spark of courage in her heart, and she was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Old woman, wisely. "That, my dear, is something you will discover in time. For now, rest and regain your strength. Tomorrow your journey will begin." The old woman's voice was soothing and Maya felt a sense of peace settle over her. She knew that she was in good hands, and that the forest had brought her to this place for a reason. As she drifted off to sleep, she couldn't help but wonder what adventures awaited her in the days to come. The old woman explained that the jungle had chosen Maya to return the stone to its rightful place, deep in the heart of the jungle. Only then would the path home reappear.
"I'll do it. I'll return the stone and find my way home."
With the old woman's guidance, Maya ventured deeper into the jungle until they reached a sacred clearing. There stood an ancient tree, its roots winding deep into the earth. Maya placed the stone into a hollow at the base of the tree, and suddenly the jungle lit up with a warm, golden glow. As the light faded, a clear path back to the village appeared before Maya's eyes. She turned to thank the old woman, but she was gone, leaving only the whispering wind behind.
"Thank you, whoever you are."
Maya followed the path and safely returned to her village where her parents embraced her, relieved and proud. She told them of her adventure, and they marveled at her bravery and the magic of the jungle. From that day on, Maya knew that the jungle was more than just trees and animals. It was alive, with secrets and magic of its own, and she learned that courage and kindness could guide her through even the darkest of places. Always be brave, kind, and respect the world around you. You never know what mysteries it holds.